Images and voices of people who have died.
Archie and Ruby also got behind community events, like trying to save a local church and its adjacent hall in country Victoria where they'd settled.
For the Friends of St Bridget, tonight's concert is a last-ditch attempt to raise the money they need. Headlining the evening is singer Archie Roach, one of the Gunditj Murra people who grew up not far from the church.
Once they keep chipping away at that old community spirit, it's just going to up and go.
We were part of saving St Bridget's, this church, because it was put up for sale. We got involved with that to try and raise some funds, you know, to buy the church back, but not just funds, but to raise awareness of what the community wanted, yeah.
Just over 3 years ago, Archie and Ruby's shared life journey ended abruptly.
The pioneering Aboriginal singer-songwriter Ruby Hunter has died of a heart attack. The 54-year-old was the first Indigenous woman to be signed to a major record label.
To this little Coorong girl that came from amongst the scrub down at the 1 Mile Camp, Bonnie Reserve, this lady that has travelled the world, stood and sat with many different people. She has enjoyed her life, and Archie has been there with her, together to the end.
I don't know if people can imagine, you wake up with the person you love in the morning and you go to bed that night without them, alone, and try to come to terms with she'll never be laying by my side again. And it just couldn't comprehend it. It's just so overwhelming. Yeah, you're just in this strange place where nothing matters anymore. I couldn't sleep much, but I got up, one morning, sitting there looking at myself in the mirror, and I looked a mess, And someone was saying to me something, it's like I could hear Ruby talking, and she said, "Look at you. She said, you've never looked like this. Yeah, even when you were drinking on the grog, you never looked like this, And I just made an effort to go and clean myself up and try to deal with her loss then. And Ruby of the river. When we first started doing shows without Ruby, we always had a chair and a microphone in her honour on stage whenever I performed. But she's not very far away.
Eight months after Ruby's death, Archie was dealt another blow. While teaching music to children on a remote community in Western Australia, he suffered a debilitating stroke.
I couldn't actually walk, but it took pretty intensive rehabilitation to start walking again, and even playing the guitar, but even simple things like buttoning up a shirt or making a cup of tea.
When Archie did get back on his feet, he had trouble breathing.
They took the chest X-ray and they noticed this shadow on my lung. And after a while, a couple of months, diagnosed as the early stages of lung cancer. Yeah.
He had half his left lung removed and was worried he wouldn't be able to sing again. What do you think now that you are well, thank goodness? What do you think about all of that illness? You know, can you make sense of it?
Sometimes things that happen in your life can manifest itself in sickness in your body, physical sickness. So it had a bit to do with Ruby's passing. But, you know, what's happened, you know, with me when I was younger, you know, being taken from my family and, you know, finding out, you know, what I did, that my mother was alive and all that sort of stuff. It finally took its toll on my body.
And do you think you've let things go now? Like, do you really think in this phase that you're in, which is so much more full of joy, do you think you have actually let more go than you had in the past?
I have let a lot of things go. There's some things I haven't, you know, but you know, you can deal with that now.
To the stolen generations, I say the following. As Prime Minister of Australia, I am sorry.
When Prime Minister Kevin Rudd said sorry to the stolen generations, it was like I know something shifted. There was weight that was lifted from my shoulders personally, and it was like I accepted that apology, not just on my behalf, but on behalf of my mother and my father, yeah, and my children. So for me, it was a great thing.
That's all we need. Just a little time for the healing to be.
A lot of people can say, well, Archie's, you know, changed his tune, very forgiving of people that have done this to him. You know, I mean, I won't forget, but I'm not going to let it burden me and weigh me down and make me sick anymore. You know, it's time to get better, time to heal. I wish I had gone with my mother back home, 'cause I miss her sweet kisses and her smile.
Archie's life has turned full circle.
Sometimes you get a feeling, you know, that the old people are still here, you know.
I think
He lives in southwestern Victoria again, near the Framlingham Aboriginal Reserve, where he spent the first years of his life. And he visits from time to time.
This was also where we finally came back to live, and this is where I was taken from as a little boy. My mother was born here on this old mission, and even though she's not buried here, all my mum's family, you know, all my mum's relatives, cousins, aunties and uncles, all buried here. And yeah, I suppose I don't come back as often as I'd like to this place. But when I do come back, it's always I think, as you get older too, there's always a stronger feeling, this strong attraction that draws you to this place, and you feel peaceful. Even though I haven't spent much time here, you still get that feeling of belonging to this place. You know, that spirit of a place, genius loci, as Manning Clark called it. You know, spirit of place. I started to believe, you know, if you were close to the earth, you were closer to God or the Creator.
Is it like a blend now for you of the idea of a God and this earth with a spirit life. Is it a blend or is one replaced the other?
It's probably maybe a bit of a blend. In the foster homes I was brought up with Christian beliefs, and then later on discovering my Aboriginal beliefs. I think summing it up, rather than Christian or religious, I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual man. That's how I define myself today.
Sometimes we just got to put on our dancing shoes.
Archie's Sydney concerts in January included a sellout performance at the State Theatre. His new songs reflecting his reinvigorated spirit.
It's uplifting, it's joyous, and I think doing it and writing the songs and actually the process of recording the album, I could feel myself getting better, and so yeah, it's a healing album. Yeah.
His new album also features gospel music for the first time.
I've always loved gospel music ever since I first heard it. And it's not necessarily the message or what it says or what it's saying. It's the feeling that you get from gospel music. You want to get up and clap your hands and stomp your feet, you know, and raise your hands and just like it's joy of life, to be alive, and to joy of being part of a community, a bigger community. And sharing that.
A big hand for our guest choir too, everybody, please. The Sydney guest choir.
Now, Archie, how would you like to be remembered?
Well, probably someone, as a person that's, been knocked down quite a few times, his share of heartache and sadness, but has just rose above that and has a more optimistic and joyous outlook on life, and grateful for just being alive and appreciating not just each day, but life. It all has to offer.